This week, instead of something from our Also Rans list, we're recommending a film that you can all watch for free. Ava DuVernay's documentary 13th. It's on Netflix and also streaming for free on YouTube. I suspect, like me and Wayne, many of you who've seen the video of George Floyd's murder, the subsequent protests in the United States and here in London, and the jaw-dropping, divisive rhetoric being spewed by the American president, have wondered what you can personally do to make a positive impact. One thing that's very easy for all of us is to learn more about how and why we're at this particular moment. This week on Film Spotting, a podcast that's produced in Chicago, the hosts Adam and Josh spent the whole episode reflecting on films that have helped them come to terms with the ways that racism shapes American life. I'd really recommend listening to it. Adam mentioned the great Roger Ebert quote that films are empathy machines. In a speech in 2005, Ebert said, "We are all born with a certain package. We are who we are, where we were born, who we were born as, how we were raised. We're kind of stuck inside that person, and the purpose of civilization and growth is to be able to reach out and empathize a little bit with other people. And for me, the movies are like a machine that generates empathy. It lets you understand a little bit more about different hopes, aspirations, dreams, and fears. It helps us to identify with the people who are sharing this journey with us." So, in that spirit, I hope you'll find that this film may help provide some insight into why the Black Lives Matter movement and all efforts to overcome systemic racism deserve our support. This film was released in 2016 and was Ava DuVernay's follow-up to Selma, her great film about Martin Luther King that's also well worth watching. The documentary's title is a reference to the 13th Amendment to the US Constitution, which abolished slavery in 1865. The amendment contains the words, and possible loophole, "Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States." The film points out that in 1970 there were about 200,000 people in America's prisons, while today the prison population is more than 2 million. The film's main focus is how America has the highest rate of incarceration in the world, and its prison population is disproportionately African American, raising the obvious question, does that mean slavery still exists in the United States? What's most incredible about the film is the sheer amount of ground it covers. Watching this film, you are going to get a history lesson, a sociology lesson, a political science lesson, an economics lesson, and obviously an African American studies lesson. Using archive, interviews, and incredible editing, it pulls together all of these threads in just over an hour and a half to really challenge how you think about the past and its impact on the present. And despite taking its inspiration from an historical event, the 13th Amendment, it is very much a film about what's happening right now and a searing look at racial inequality. In an interview for Film Comment with Ashley Clark, DuVernay talked about what impact she'd like the film to have. She said, "There's good work to be done with folks simply reassessing their own personal views about the relationship between black people and the police, the relationship between the police and communities of colour, what we think about formerly incarcerated people, what we think about currently incarcerated people and prison. Whether you go out and start a petition or have some kind of formal dissent, or whether you change your own mind about the way that you are processing this stuff and behaving, all of that is good work. My hope is that the film affects folks on some level. I don't have a preference as to how." So, please watch the film. I am sure it will affect you in some way. If you have Netflix, you'll find it on there. As I said earlier, it's also streaming on YouTube for free. There are links to both of those on our website. We've also published a blog post linking to our introductions to films that we've previously shown at Film Club, like Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, which feel like timely movies to either rewatch now or discover for the first time if you've not seen them. There's also a link on the site to various organisations you may wish to donate to. So, stay safe, watch this film. Very well.